I may get lucky and get 1 hour in the afternoon from 3 to 4. That means I don't have to eat lunch. Because if I have to work out and I eat lunch, something will go horribly wrong. So you have to be disciplined. You have to stick to your routine. Step number 1. Running is the easiest thing to get into. One of the most cheaper things to get into until you really get into it. The cost per kilometer only goes up. I think comrades आपण किती काढली होती? 1000 rupees per kilometer, I think. हाँ, अशी काहीतरी cost निघाली आमची. If you look at it, if you want to stay fit, it is actually one of the cheapest things to do. You know, we all live in cities where there are great routes. I'm told that tomorrow's route is very, very scenic. The start is very, very easy. They said it's a 1 kilometer uphill. Excellent. It is a really good aerobic and anaerobic workout. If you are lucky, you can take your spouse and or family for a run. And obviously there's a lot of races, events happening. India is the booming market for the running world right now. So there's a lot of fun things you can do. Running is obviously easier than you think. Obviously, Spider-Man ला काय आरामात करतात त्या गोष्टीला काय फार काय कामधाम नसतं त्याला. He fights one superhero in a movie and that's it. So it's very, very easier than you think. You can see even in India it's picking up that people will do races in costumes now. But there are some things you should know. One, you can make running hard. You can make running hard if you don't have the right shoes, the right clothes. Gait and form are very, very important. Otherwise, you will get into some sort of an injury. This is the important point I want to make. Second point. Potential of some sort of injury during marathon training is on the higher side. So those of you who are interested in running marathons, I know some of you are signed up for SCMM, keep this at the back of your mind. And it's very simple because it's a very pounding sport. You are going to be on your feet. There's no other way around it. Lot of impact. Unlike cycling, swimming, running has a lot of impact. This is where managing your diet and nutrition is very, very crucial. When you start running, even if you're running 2 kilometers or you're running 21 or you're taking the next step, you have to expect some sort of fatigue, some sort of soreness, but it does get better just like anything else. The more you do, the easier it will get. So I had to make a list of things you should do. One thing you can do is hire a good coach. That will make a good difference. Especially if you have a time goal or you have a specific distance goal, hire a good coach. Another thing you can do is correct your form first. If you get the basics right, the speed will come. It always comes. If you focus on speed first, more than likely you'll get injured or you will run with a very, very horrible form. Running is all about efficiency. Choose different places so that LSOM is a really good idea. Choose different places so that it doesn't become very routine oriented. You can go to different parts of the city that you don't usually go to and run. बाकीचे 3 points पर repeat झाले. It's a great workout. Like I already said, you can take your spouse. And then there's lots of events that happen. But there's some don'ts that you should know. Number 1 is don't treat every run as a race. And I see this mistake happening over and over and over again. There are certain runs that are meant to be done at a slower pace. There's a specific reason that those are called your recovery runs. Especially for people who are running a marathon, this becomes very, very crucial. Second thing is take a look at your shoes. Every 500 to 800 kilometers, you should be changing shoes. Regardless if you spend 2,000 rupees or 15,000 rupees, it is the same variance, 500 to 800 kilometers. You will start seeing the simplest thing is to use technology. When you first buy the shoes, take a photo of the sole, keep a diary. When you think you have hit about 500 kilometers, take a photo of the sole and compare. You will find the difference. If the sole is gone, it's time to change. If you start feeling any pain in your shins, ankles, it's time to change the shoe, more than likely. A lot of people run barefoot. Anyone here runs barefoot? Good. Easy. See, the barefoot movement is not for everyone. So if you do want to do all your research before you take up barefoot running. And if you are above 40, get a routine medical checkup done before you start running. Just some blood work, a basic EKG. That's all you need. But get a baseline going before you jump into something, which is advised. Any kind of strenuous activity, you should do it. A lot of people say, now that I'm running, I'm so tired at work. My wife or husband complain, you don't have time for me. I'm not following the right diet. So it's about finding the right balance. I have never heard my wife complain about me going for events or practice. That was a joke, you're supposed to laugh. I hear it every single day. Yeah, good. See, they're going to come for the run tomorrow? Good. Who all stand up? Who all have got their wives along? Let me see if this. Actually, I'm going to keep an eye. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'll be 8. So I'll be expecting 8 wives. Where are the 8 wives? 9. Good. Very good. So the other things can change when you go home tonight. You can blame me. कैसे बोला है? Wives को भी. Or husbands. So it's about finding the right balance in all of these things you do. Running is one thing, but in order to get faster, get better, or have longevity in running, you have to do a couple things. One is weight training. Because a lot of you probably did some sports growing up, then got busy in your work, your education, and then 10, 15 years later down the line started running. Excellent. But as we all age, our muscle mass starts shrinking. So you will start seeing loss in strength, loss in flexibility. The only way to combat this is what? Strength training, weightlifting. And I'm not saying heavy weightlifting. Do I look like the kind of person who does heavy weights? No. This was again a joke. काय कळलं नाही तर कुठला दावा का हुजवा So some of the benefits of weight training are you'll see bone density, you'll decrease muscle mass loss, increase metabolism. You will obviously reduce the risk of injury. It will help you improve balance, improve strength, and obviously help your performance at the end of the day. But if you look at the last 4 or 5 points, it will also increase your longevity of running. We want to take this as a lifestyle. We just don't want to do a marathon or a half marathon and stop. There is comrades. Again, joke, laugh. So you want to keep on going with running as long as we all can to stay fit. A lot of people say, but I do yoga. Isn't that enough? Yoga is a great way to stretch yourself, to be flexible. I do yoga once a week. But it's not aerobic. And the other thing, for a muscle to be toned, you have to apply some force against it. And that force will only come via some element of strength training. It can be in the gym, it can be doing simple body weight calisthenics, but some sort of element has to be attached to it. So, another big question I get asked is कि तुम्हें खाता क्या है? What do you eat? For those people who don't see this cartoon, the lady is telling the waiter, I'm going to order a broiled skinless chicken breast, but I want you to bring me my lasagna and garlic bread by mistake. So, you will hear about a lot of diet fads lately. All athletes are on keto diet now, or low carb diet, or high fat diet. Keep in mind that they do not work long term. Diets cannot be a fix for anyone's life. I don't have a diet. That is the simple answer I give everyone. I do not have a diet. I have grown up on a typical Indian diet of amti, some sort of koshimbir, one bhaji, pori or bhakri, and rice. And that is what I follow in the morning and at night. There is no change. So don't cut out something, if you are allergic to wheat, then it's okay to be gluten-free. If you have, a lot of people have allergies with dairy, with milk, then it's okay to cut it out. But for the rest of us, there is no reason to cut anything out of your diet. The second important point is, like I said, find colors in your plate. The more colors you have, that means add a green, a leafy vegetable in a salad, add a dal. Very, very typical Indian diet. You do not have to go away from it. One thing you can do is eat fruits. At least eat 1 or 2 fruits a day. One recommendation is stay away from added and processed sugar as much as possible. So if you are taking 1 teaspoon of sugar in your tea or coffee, try and bring it down as much as possible. Because all of us at least have 2 cups a day. So if you can cut out at least 1 spoon, that's a big change right there. That's 30 spoons in a month, times 12. Try and avoid soft drinks or processed juices with extra sweeteners as much as possible. And the third one I know is very, very tough. Try and limit your desserts intake as much as possible. The simple thing you can do is follow a diet of moderation. There's nothing better than moderation. Control your portion sizes. Just write down how much you eat. Have a dietitian quickly analyze it. And they'll tell you if you're eating too much or you're eating too less. And do not use running as an excuse to eat more. That happens quite a lot. It is not a joke. This is the other end. It happens quite a lot, right? Especially, carb loading, another myth. The buffet after carb loading Sunday El Song. So, I know LSOMs is good, it's good practice. But I want to focus a little bit on your race selection. This is meant to be funny. You know the person who did the first marathon died at the end of it, right? Yeah. The story of Philippides. So running is meant to be stress-free. It is not meant to add more stress in your life. What happens is that there is a big need now to race for medals. Every week there's a race and you want that medal. There's a constant need to get on the podium. It's all this Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. Everyone wants that selfie with the medal or whatever that is. It is good, but you have to choose how many of these you can do. It's very, very important. So a good program will involve some target races. So I know some people are running Dorshet next weekend, 32 kilometers, as practice for SCMM. So select a target race. It could be 2 or 3 events. It could be Hyderabad or Satara. Then it could be the Pune running one in October. And then SCMM is your full marathon. I'm not promoting any of these races. There's Goa, there's Chennai, there's Hyderabad. That's the point. Do not run more than 2 half marathons and a full marathon a year. There is no reason why you should do this. Even the best of the best of the best professionals are not running more than 2 marathons a year. There is no reason why you all should be doing that. I have to do it. It is my bread and butter. I have to do it. Why am I saying this? It's because your body needs time to rest and recover. If you keep on doing event after event after event, there is no rest. You may go into an event thinking, okay, I'm going to run easy, but there will be someone around you who you want to beat, or there is good peer pressure as well, that your friends are running at a certain pace and you want to keep up with them. So even though your body is tired, you will land up pushing yourself. And then there's a high risk of you getting injured or having some other health issues. So for those people who are running their first marathon, I put this slide just for you. It says at mile 20, I thought I was dead. At mile 22, I wished I was dead. At mile 24, when you hit the wall, I knew I was dead. At mile 26.2, which is 42.2, I realized I had become too tough to kill. So the last slide is just, me bragging about me. That, besides being a doctor on the side, I do some coaching as well. I own Radstrong. I started Radstrong. We do running, triathlon, and overall fitness. We design plans for your goals, all the good stuff. And we claim to be the best coaching option in India right now. Like I said, I did not want this to be too informative because I want questions from you all to come to me. So the next slide is very, very important. That what is your excuse? For those spouses who are not running, you can show them this picture tomorrow or tonight so that they join you, or your kids. Really, what is our excuse? So usually what I do is I take the mic and I throw it, and the person who catches it has to ask the first question. We can either go that way, or someone can be up front and ask me a question. Very, very easy. There's 2 or 3 hands, yes. Yes. She has run 2 half marathons, but she runs to stay fit. She runs 5-7 kilometers. That's all she wants to run, and then she goes to the gym. Like I said, I have trained her well for the gym purpose.
I'm a vegetarian. How important it is to eat non-veg food?
It is not at all important. I am training people who are Jains, who will not eat food after 7 p.m. Do you eat eggs?
I can eat eggs, yes.
Okay.
But not at home, so fortunately, it's as good as no.
So who can have him over for eggs?
Okay, thanks, Mangesh.
So with running, for vegetarians especially, you have to manage two things. Your protein